Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful Easter wreath using a bicycle wheel frame from Dollar Tree, Deco mesh from Craft Outlet, ribbons from Sam's Club, and a flocked bunny with flocked eggs from Walmart. It's going to be fun to make. I've also got some of these carrots that I got from Hobby Lobby and a few florals from Dollar Tree. Before we get started on the wreath, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss new videos that I upload. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And if you know someone who would love this craft, be sure to share it with them. Any interaction that you give me with this video helps push it out for others to find. Now I want to talk about how we're going to do this wreath. I'm going to put the bunny and the eggs out of my way. You need some pipe cleaners to attach your Deco mesh to the bicycle wheel frame. With the poly jute mesh, we're going to do poofs. With the green snowball mesh, we're going to cut this at 15 inches and you'll need your rotary cutter or a pair of scissors to cut this. The ribbons are cut at 14 inches. Aren't they so pretty? I love the colors. They scream spring. A few things I look at when I'm choosing the ribbons for my wreath: the color scheme of my wreath, the patterns on the ribbon, the material that the ribbon is made of. With this, my eggs, this is how I picked the colors of the ribbons that I wanted to use. And I wanted to make sure that the ribbons popped against the green mesh. I think it's going to go so good with everything that I have here. I did a dovetail at the end of each ribbon. All you do is you fold it, and I go from the tip and I cut it down at an angle, and that gives me the dovetail. The first thing we need to do is add the pipe cleaners to the frame. You'll need 12 pipe cleaners because we're putting a pipe cleaner on every other bar. To do the pipe cleaners on the outside of the bar, fold this in half, slide it over the bar, and then take this side and wrap it around this one and wrap it around, and then cross it over, go under, and cross it back over. So that gives us that to put our Deco mesh in. Like I said, we're doing these every other bar. For our second row, we're going to use a glue gun to help us secure the chenille stems to the frame. All I do, we're going to alternate. Like I've got a chenille stem here. I don't have one here. I'm going to go to this one to put one in the second circumference. I'm going to take my knuckle right there, stretch it out, and then I'm going to put just a little dot of glue right there on the frame. It doesn't take much, and I'm going to do that to every other bar going around. And it doesn't have to be measured perfect. I mean, I know my fingers are the same length as your finger. This is just to help catch the chenille stem on. This one's already dried, so I'm going to take my chenille stem and bring it up past where that dot of glue is, and I'm going to twist it there on top. If I get it to catch on that dot of glue, twist it, and then I'm going to put another dot here so that it doesn't slide down, so that it catch on the bar to keep it from sliding down. Now I'm going to finish this with the other bars and I'll be back. This is what the frame looks like when you get finished putting the pipe cleaners on there. I've got my Deco mesh on my Susie's mesh holder. I love my Susie's mesh holder. Now, you don't have to have one. You can craft without one, but it makes making wreaths so much less of a hassle because I don't have my Deco mesh rolling all over the floor. It's not getting snagged on my table. Having my mesh holder is just what I enjoy using when I'm making my wreaths. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll have my affiliate link in the description. And if you don't know what it looks like, I have the triple mesh holder, if you can see that. My husband got this for me a few Christmases ago. So I've had this for quite a few years. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out and start walking at the edge, gather it at the edge. And then I'm going to choose a pipe cleaner, it doesn't matter which one, and lay it in between and then twist. I'm going to do the poofs 10 inches. So 10 inches every pipe cleaner. And I'm one who measures. I can't help it. That's just how I am. You don't have to measure. So you do it your way. I'm just going to put that in the between the pipe cleaner and twist. Now you may think, well, that's not a very big poof. It's not going to cover a lot. But by the time I put my ruffles on and my ribbon, it's going to look really good. Trust me. Again, 10 inches. I'm going to finish putting the poofs on this outer row and I'll come back. I've come to the last poof on the outer row. I'm going to do the 10 inches. Put it in there, twist. And now I'm going to bring this to the inside to this pipe cleaner. Straight, pull it tight. I don't want a poof there. And twist it on there. Now this is where I'm going to start my poofs for the inside. 8 inches makes a good size poof for the inner layer. You can do 10 if you want to, but I think I'm just going to do the 8 inches because it makes, like I said, it makes a good size poof. I still have the ruffles to add and the ribbon. I've got to save room for my bounty and my eggs. So see, that's a good size poof there. Now I'm going to do 8 inches every zip tie all the way around this circumference and I'll come back. I'm at the last poof on the inner circumference. Bring it to the pipe cleaner that I started with on the inner circumference and tie that on there. Now there are my poofs. I'm going to cut this off. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to tuck it in the center. It won't be seen after I put everything else in here. Yes, it looks, you can see through it, but I'm not finished. Trust the process. One good thing I like about my mesh holder, you can take these off and change them out because I'm going to cut this mesh next 15 inches. So I will have 12 15-inch pieces of this Deco mesh. Now you can't use a wood burner to cut this. You have to use a rotary cutter. And what did I do with my rotary cutter? First thing I'm going to do is clean the edge up. Cut it even. Now we're going to cut every 15 inches. Usually when you're cutting, you lay something on there to keep the mesh, hold it down so you can cut. But with your mesh holder, you thread this. See this right here? This little bar right there. You thread the mesh through that. And that holds your mesh down, and you don't have to put anything on the mesh to hold it down. See if you can see that. See? Like that, it holds it down. So I don't have to worry about getting a board or anything else to lay on this to hold this down. Now, 15 inches. Guess I better scoot this in to make sure you can see me. We're going to put a ruffle in every pot cleaner. Now, how to do a ruffle, you make sure, I need something to lay on that. I'll put one of the eggs on there. Make sure you have it curled down with the factory edges on each side. Find the center, scoot that so you can see my fingers. Find the center and start walking, pinching it with your pointer and your thumb, and then using your outer ones, your outer fingers, to continue to walk it down. And then when you're at the end, you will have a bow tie. And there goes the egg. But you'll have a bow tie that looks like that. And then you just get the wreath frame and slide the pipe cleaner through there. And then twist the pipe cleaner. So there we go. There is our pretty ruffle. This is going to look so good when it's finished. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. I like to take my ruffles and pull them around to shape them. Kind of tuck the edges so that it can help keep it from the edges catching and fraying so much. So that's what I like to do. And it kind of makes it look like a little flower, if you can see that. I have all of my ruffles on my wreath frame. Now I'm just going to shape them out. Pull and tug at them and shape them the way that I think it looks best. Now we have a gorgeous base for a wreath. You could use any color or type of Deco mesh to put on the frame in poofs, and then any color to put as the ruffles. I love it. This is like my favorite wreath frame now to use, and the method, so I just think it's so pretty and full. I picked these ribbons. For one, I saw this ribbon at Sam's Club and I love that ribbon. I thought that is so much spring. So I got my eggs and I looked at them. I'm like, that is perfect. Look at those color combinations, how they complement each other. I love that. Then I also have the carrot. Look how that makes the butterfly pop. I love that. That is just perfect. Then I thought, well, I want this is a 2.5 inch. I wanted a 1.5 inch to go with this because I'm going to pull them out And the 1.5 inch to go over the 2.5 inch isn't going to hide that very much, so you're still going to be able to see the design on that ribbon. And I looked at that, and that's perfect. All of the colors on this are basically on that. Then I saw this flower one. Again, they pop with the butterfly. I thought, well, I want to use the yellow, so I'm going to put the yellow with this. And I think it's perfect. I think these are going to look so good on this wreath. What I'm going to do is alternate the ribbon I use in every pipe cleaner. So just pick the pipe cleaner you want to start. Take your ribbon, fold it in half. And no, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing ever is. And then gather it, pinch it. Now I like to, since I'm going to pull them out, I like to go on ahead and shape them like that before I put them in the zip tie. Before I put them in the pipe cleaner. I don't know why I always say zip tie. So I'm going to put them on the wreath like that. Put it in the pipe cleaner and twist it. Now I will, when I get everything on, I will fix the pipe cleaner so you can't see the pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to offset these a little bit, not a whole lot, because I don't mind that laying over that ribbon a little bit. Now the next set of pipe cleaners, I'm going to use the opposite, the other set of ribbon tails. Fold it in half and pinch. Gather it. Then I'm going to shape it out. Make sure that they're even, the ends. Put it in the zip. Put it in the pipe cleaner and twist. So there we go. Those are our ribbons. So I'm going to do this in every pipe cleaner, alternating the set of ribbons. So when I get that finished, I'll come back and we will start on adding the enhancements. Another thing before I forget, when you're putting the ribbon on, make sure that the patterns on the ribbon tails match each other as far as in the direction that you're putting them on the wreath. See, like this, the flower petals are up here and the stem goes down. So when I put this on, I want to make sure that I put it on the same direction where the flower is like that. Also with the butterfly, where I have the tips of the wings up here, I want to make sure all of the other ones I put on have the tips of the wings up. So that was another thing I wanted to add before I get started putting all these on. So I've got all the ribbon on and straightened out. I went on ahead and I clipped the pipe cleaners off, and I just tucked them, clip them off as short as I can, and then just tuck them in like that. And then when I pull the ribbon up, you won't be able to see that. Plus, when I add the embellishments, it's gonna hide some of that too. Now it's time to add the bunny. So I hung this up on my door to see where exactly I wanted to put the bunny, and I want to put the bunny here, kind of off to the side. To put the bunny on here, it's not very heavy, but it does have a little bit of weight to it down here. And I didn't want to use floral wire because I didn't want you'd be able to see that. So all I did was I got a couple floral pins, and I took, because this is styrofoam, I took 2 pipe cleaners and I stuck the floral pin through the bunny's back. And if you want, you can add glue, but where the floral pins are pretty long, I'm not worried about them coming out. So to add the bunny, figure out where you want the bunny to lay. Also, before I get into putting the bunny on, I was going to talk about this and I forgot. You can, if you want, use this as a table center instead of a wreath. What I would do, I would open this up. You could put a chenille stem on the bottom if you're worried about it falling off. So you could put a chenille stem on the bottom and sit that on the center, kind of how I would do it, off center just a little bit, and run the chenille stem through the bottom of the frame. And then you could add your eggs, your carrots, add your eggs around the bunny. That would be really cute. I might have to get another one of these bunnies if I could find one and do a centerpiece. And also, if I was making this as a centerpiece, which I'm going to do this even as a wreath, take the florals that I got from Dollar Tree and put a little glue on the end and just tuck them down in there, and they would be sticking out. So that is one thing that you can do with this instead of just making it a wreath. But I'm gonna make it a wreath. I've got the bunny. I'm gonna lay it off to the side a little bit. Now I'm going to pull the ruffles apart and stick the pipe cleaner in between those. Flip this over to get that started. If I can get a hold of that. Well, I didn't mean for that to happen, so I guess maybe it is a good idea to put glue on that. I'm glad that happened before I got finished with it. So there you go. You might want to put glue on your bunny if you put a floral pin in there. So I'm just going to stick that back through styrofoam. And I'll put a little more drop here and on the other side before I push it all the way down. All right, that should be secure. I better put some on the bottom one. I'm just gonna put some here and here, and then push that back down. Try not to burn myself. Okay. I'm gonna add just a little bit more for extra security. I do not want this to come off. Okay. Now I'm going to let that harden just a little bit. I'm also going to do the same thing with the eggs. Use floral pins and chenille stems to stick in the eggs. And then when I lay the egg where I want it, then I can just thread it through the frame. And these little things were from floral bushes that I got at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take them like right here where a ribbon is and glue them down in there so they're sticking out. I'm going ahead and do one of those while I'm waiting for the glue on my bunny to cool off. So I'm just going to put a little glue here on that chenille stem and then lay that on there. I have the end of these kind of turned in a hook. Let me see. So I have the end kind of turned in a hook, and I will catch that on the chenille stem. So with that and the glue, that'll hold it. Also, if I pull at these and they come off, I add just a tiny bit of glue on those and then stick that back on there so they won't blow off if a good wind comes. And we've had some good winds around here lately. So, and then I'll just shape my ribbon. This is the fun part. I love adding the embellishments to my wreaths. So again, let's try this. Separate the ruffles and feed this through. And I'm going to flip this over. See how I've got that through. Now I want to make sure that my bunny isn't going to just slide back and forth. So I will add glue to this to hold it after I twist all of this around the bar. And this should keep it pretty snug. Before I add any glue, I want to make sure I've got it where I want it, because once I add glue, it's not gonna move. So I'm gonna kind of hold that to where I can see. Yeah, that is going to look so good. Now I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue there. Put a little smudge there and a little smudge here, and that should keep that from sliding. Now I've got to feed the other sponge, the other chenille stem down here. Let's see. Again, I will, if I can, separate the ruffles and feed it through in between the ruffles. Get a hold of that. Because I'm feeding it through the poly jute mesh too. Now let's flip it over. I've got that. Well, that just come on through. So, and twist. Then I'm going to wrap this around the bar like I did the other one. Let's make sure I've got this the way I want it. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be really good. I really like that. Get my trusty glue gun. I need to give my glue gun a cleaning, and I have no idea how. Because there are so many glue strings on it. If anyone knows how to clean a glue gun, let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now, I think, now, when you're going to add embellishments like this on a wreath, you don't want to use just like 2 or 4. You want to use like an odd number, because that helps give the wreath more dimension instead of just being evenly spread out. So I always use the rule of 3. I hung this up so I can get an idea of where I want to place some of the embellishments, and I'm starting with the yellow egg. And how I decided where I wanted to put the yellow egg was the ribbon. See, right here is where I'm going to put the yellow egg, and that's because I want to pair it with these two ribbons, because this ribbon doesn't really have a lot of yellow in it, so this is going to pop against that ribbon. See, this ribbon has more yellow in it, so the pink against the, like right here, the yellow ribbon will pop more. So that's how I'm deciding where I want to place my eggs and other embellishments. So I'm going to go on, make my floral pin and Chanel stem. And I want to make it look nestled in this. So I'm going to put it at an angle. So I'll be putting the floral pin and the Chanel stem there. And I'm hoping you guys can see me, because I recorded the first part of this, went back to watch it, and realized that I wasn't in shot the whole time. And that makes me feel bad, but I can't go back and redo it. So I'll be more mindful of that next time. But I'm going to make a hole, put that there. Put some glue. Oh, run my Chanel stem through that. Push that down. Get that on there tight. Now, we'll let that cool. So this is where I'm going to put the egg, and I want it at an angle. I'm going to separate the ends of the ruffle and thread this through to come out on the other side. And one good thing about the Chanel stems is after you get this on, it is still bendable. Okay, I want to make sure that my Chanel stems, I can wrap them around the bar. Push down on that. I don't need all of this Chanel stem, so you can cut it off if you want to. I'm not worried about it. If you don't want to see the back, you can cover it with a placemat. I get placemats from Dollar Tree, or you can use felt and cut it out and put it on the back. So where I have it on the Chanel stem, I can twist that a little bit and straighten out my ribbon. See, I have the light pink and the fuchsia. I'm trying to decide which ribbon each will pop against. I think this one will pop really good against the yellow. I'm trying to decide. I think that'll go with the yellow too. Let's do a Chanel stem on this. Let's put a little bit on the edge. Thread that through. Push that down and try not to burn myself. Okay. We're going to put this down here. kind of right there. Nestle it in there. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Gotta thread this Chanel stem through there. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. And just twist that on there. Now I have one more egg and the carrots. I have to decide where I want to put the carrots. I don't know if I want the carrots here or down here. Let's see, where do I want the carrots? Maybe there. I'm gonna hang this up and see. After hanging it up and looking at it, I decided that I didn't want the carrots the way they were put together. They were too close together and I couldn't put them in the center like I wanted. So I snipped the string that was tied around them so I can spread them out a little bit more the way I want. And this still has some of the string on it. It's not a big deal. I'll just put this toward the back to where you won't be able to see that. And I'll use a little glue. So I'm just going to put these in here, lay these the way I think I want them. I like the way I'm going to be putting them on there. I think that'll look good. I'm going to hang that up and see. Well, I had it on my door. I figured out how I want it. I would love to be able to raise you guys up so you could see it on my door so I could explain what I'm doing, but my husband's in the living room watching TV, and if I open my door, then you would hear all that, and I don't want you guys to hear all that. So I'm just going to try to explain it. So I wanted my carrots like this. I took some glue on this one, and I glued it to the side of the bunny's head. And then I put some glue on this one, and I glued these two carrots together. I also took a Chanel stem on the bottom of that carrot, if you can see it, right there, and wrapped it around the carrot, fed it through the mesh, and tied it to the ring. Now this one, what I was having trouble with is I have this space here, and I'm like, I need to fill that space in, so I'm gonna have to use something else, you know, if I use the carrots like this. So I went and looked at my florals, and I decided I'm gonna put my carrot there, and then I'm gonna take some of these. I got these from Dollar Tree that I had in my stash, and I'm gonna put a couple of these in here to fill in that hole. So I'm just gonna take some glue right here and glue this to that carrot. Let that stick, get a hold of that. Since I'm going to be putting the flowers here, that's already going to draw quite a bit of attention. So I want to space that out. So I'm going to put this egg up here so that the whole wreath will attract your attention when you look at it, and not just one part. So I'm going to tuck that in there. Let me hold this up. See at what angle I want to put that. Okay, so right there is where I need to put the pin and the Chanel stem. Thread that through. Put push that down. Separate the ruffle. And I want this down like that. So I'm going to thread this, see where the chenille stem is with the ribbon. I'm going to feed one of the chenille stems, one end of the chenille stem down here. Right there, the bar that chenille stem holding the ribbon and stuff on, I'm going to take the end of this chenille stem on the top and one on the bottom, one end on the bottom. Pull that in. Flip it over. See how I have that there? And then twist this on. Let's put some of these flowers, lilies, on here. I keep the stem long enough to stick down through there so that the flower doesn't sink too deep into the wreath. There's a couple ways that you can do the flowers. You can leave the stems on there at a good length so you can pull them through and wrap the stems around the frame like this. See? And I can just wrap that around and not have to use glue. That way I can, if I hang it up and I don't like it, I can make any adjustments. And this one. Now that one's not going the way I want it. Let's see. Or you could just glue it on there. Clip this off a little bit. I think that stem is too long. So you would just put glue on the stem. Stick it through there and let it catch hold of the Deco mesh. I'm not going to do that because I really don't like using glue unless I have to. That's just one of my things. When I can just twist that. Now see, and when I hang it up, if I want to adjust the flowers any, I can do that. Which I may end up doing. I've got to see if there are any other places that I think need to be filled in. Every section of the wreath that I had ribbons, I took these florals from Dollar Tree and I just put glue on the tip of the floral and just poked them down in there and let the glue get a hold of the mesh or the ribbon so that they're sticking. And I wanted them coming out to look like they're growing out. And I decided to put 3 lilies on here because there were 3 crosses. Now with the ribbon that was on the bunny's neck, I took it off and I'm going to add ribbon. I took it off because it was fraying and I didn't want that on there. So I'm going to use this green and white striped ribbon. I got it from Sam's Club too, with the yellow. So I'm going to cut, I'd say about 16 inches off of this. And I have a chenille stem to tie the ribbon and put it on the bunny's neck. Let's move this out of the way. So I'm going to cut about 16 inches. And I'm cutting 4 tails, 2 of each, because I'm going to cheat, okay? I'm going to do this an easy bow. So I don't have to, I cannot do a bow by hand because it hurts for me to grip hold of the ribbon. So I'm just going to cheat. But It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you get it done, right? It's still gonna look just as good. And I don't want this too big because I don't want it to hide my bunny. And I will dovetail the ends of the ribbon. Get this out of the way. Now I'm going to dovetail these before I make it because sometimes after I make a bow and I put it on, whatever I'm going to put it on, and I hang it up and it doesn't look even to me, my perfectionism kicks in and I just keep snipping away until I think I got it even, until all of it's gone. So I'm just going to go on ahead and do this before I make it so I can just like, okay, Tina, you did it right. Leave it alone. After I get it on, remind myself you already did that. So that's how you make a dovetail. You just fold these, fold your ribbon, cut from this corner, slant it down. Let's make sure that you can see me. All right. Now I do have my bow dabber. I mean, because it's not much, it's right here, so I just grabbed it. Not a big deal. I'm gonna put my chenille stem through there. Take this like that. I only want about the loop to be about 3 fingers because I don't want it to be. I'm going to start with the green first because I want the green against the wreath and then the yellow on top. So I'm going to about 3 fingers for the loop. Pinch it and then slide that in there. Now I'm going to take this one, do the same thing, pinch it, put it over there. Let's see. Maybe this is the hard way. I don't know. This is all I feel like doing tonight. So this is what I'm in the mood for. If it was a different night, I might have been in the mood to make it a different way. All right. And I just wanted a simple bow. I didn't want anything grand because, like I said, I don't want to hide my bunny. The bunny is the centerpiece of the wreath. Have that one. That loop is a little too big. Let's see if I can fix that. Yeah. I need to pull that loop a little bit tighter. Well, there we go. This one I think is a little too big too. The yellow there. It's Just pull on a towel and it'll pull the loop. Oh, let's see. Let's see how it's going to look on the bunny. See, I think the green is going to look good with that because a lot of that mesh is hidden now. So I think that green ribbon is going to make that pop, bring that out so you'll be able to see it. Now let's see if I can feed this behind the bunny. I wish I had done this before I had put the bunny on there, but I did not realize that the ribbon was fraying. If I can get that through there. Come on. And I have short, stubby fingers, so. Oh, I think I feel it right there. Yep, there it is. Oh, I'm going to have to put, I tell you what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to add to that to make the chenille stem longer. So I'm just going to take another chenille stem I had over here, cut it in half, and add it to this by twisting them around each other. Okay, now pull that back. Because I want the bunny, because I want the bow on this side of the bunny. Over here. And the reason I decided to use a chenille stem, well, for one, you can't see it too much, but it's easy to glue stuff on to hide the chenille stem if I want to. So, and I will clip what I don't need of that chenille stem off. I think this loop is still too big. I have to pull that in some. There we go. Let's see, let's hold her up. After hanging it up on my door, I'm happy with it. But I want the ribbon tails a little bit shorter, so I cut those off, and I've got to cut these off doing a dovetail. So I'm going to dovetail this by folding that. Make sure I got it even. And coming at an angle down. So then let's do this one. Where they're tied on there, it's hard to get them exactly even. But I do my best. It is what it is. See, that one's not even. I'm going to cut that one a little bit shorter. This is what I'm talking about. Just a little bit. All right. Now, yeah, that's better so it doesn't hide the bunny. I still think that one's too long. Just a little bit. See, this is what I was telling you. Oh, it drives me crazy. This is the last time I'm going to snip it. If it ain't even, it ain't even. All right, I think I got it. There we go. Let's hold it up and see. Yeah, I like it. I think I like it. I think I like it. Oh, I've got the chenille stem I need to cut off back here. Okay. And just tuck that down in there. No one will be able to see it. It will be hid. Push it down in there. Okay. So my advice to you, if you do one of these bunnies, do the ribbon on the neck before you put it on the wreath. So that is a tip. Now I want to find something to glue on these. I've got some of these left, but I don't know. I'm just thinking here. This is my process. Well, I like that if I do it that way. I don't have like any, you could if you had like beads or something, glue on there. I don't have any beads. Let's see if I like how that would look. Kinda, but I don't know. I could put like flowers coming out that way, because I can just glue them on there. I think I like that. I think I like that. I think that'll look good. Let's see. Have them coming out, spread them out. That might look good. And that might do it for me. I wish I had another yellow one, but I don't. Put these in there. And spread them out. But I think that'll look good. I think that'll look good. You just have to glue all that in there and straighten them. And I'll straighten them out, gluing them on there. Fan them out. I get my placemats from Dollar Tree that I put on the back of my wreath. But these were on sale at Hobby Lobby for the Christmas stuff, like 90% off. And when I saw them, I'm like, oh, I've got to get those. Those would be good to go on flower wreaths that I make, or any wreath, because they're white. And I just think they'd go good. I thought they'd be good for spring. It's a pack of 4, 90% off. But these are the kind of mats that they have at Dollar Tree. I'm not going to put this on right now because I've got a few things I need to tweak. But I'm going to show you. Put it on the back. It fits almost perfectly. And you can take zip ties and run through the mat and then around the bar and the zip tie. I usually do 4 straight across from each other. And I do that. And to hang it, you can use twine or any kind of rope or string that you want to. Cut it off. And then I've got it like that and tie a knot. And then I just run this wherever, I don't know if this is the top, but I run that through the frame like that and then run that in through that end. And I have my hanger. There you have a beautiful Easter wreath that is made on a bicycle wheel frame from Dollar Tree. And this wreath is perfect for decorating your front door for Easter, or any room in your home. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you make this wreath and you post a picture on social media, I hope you tag me in it because I would love to see it. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.